Insurance savings.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Lauren.
Turn your sound.
Ready?
No, not quite. I want to see about getting the microphone sound up. I don't know why it does that, but can you hear us okay, or is it still faint?
I can hear you better now than you did before.
Okay, it's still not right though.
Yesterday, the microphone was-
For instance, who was just talking right then? I couldn't hear them.
It was Salome. She was just
She was mumbling.
as almost. Oh, we can't hear you.
Well, no mumbling is permitted. That's reserved only for the chairman of the planning commission.
All right, let's go ahead and get started then.
Okay, welcome to our meeting for the planning commission of the city of Troy for April 28th. Please call the roll.
Mayor Oda? Here. Mr. Westmeyer? Mr. McGarry?
Here.
Mr. Wolke?
Here.
Mrs. Early?
Here.
Mr. Titterington?
Here.
Mr. Cappers?
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have our minutes have been disseminated, those of our meeting of April 14th. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions to those minutes?
You want to note that Mr. Westmeyer is entering into the call,
Great.
but I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
There's a motion, a second by Mr. McGarry to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? They stand approved. Mr. Westmeyer, welcome. Did you just get
Yep.
back from Bellarmine?
Yeah, sorry I'm late.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was in my office. I didn't know what to do. My
You
apologies.
must be excited. I see the name on the shirt. Okay, first item, historic district application for 2426 North Short Street. Does staff have a report?
We do, thank you. Preem Holdings, the applicant has provided additional information to follow up from the last planning commission, where they, among improvements, they had asked for demolition of the rear addition of the two-family. And they have come back with additional information to meet 2 of the 4 conditions required for a planning commission to review demolition as a standard. What you have attached to the report for 2426 North Short Street is a cost to improve the rear enclosed porch to meet the minimum building code would be $379 per square foot, as provided by Harlow Builders. And then also you have attached, provided by Benjamin Reddick with Bruns Realty Group, a per square foot market value of similar size and type structures at $105 a square foot. And to meet that condition for number 3, it's when the estimate exceeds the market value is when it's cost prohibitive. So that does meet. And then it also meets condition number 2, which it did previously. And also the applicant has provided a letter from the chief building official, Miami County Department of Development, Rob England, that the structure is considered unsafe. That was also added, I believe, to the packet. And that actually could meet condition number 1 or 4, depending on how you look at it. But nevertheless, it does meet 2 and 3. The staff does recommend demolition. I also should note that as it was in the previous meeting, there'll be new steps poured, as well as a concrete patio after the demolition.
Any
So,
questions of staff? I personally agree with what has been submitted, satisfies conditions number 2 and 3 of the Code of Ordinances. So I don't have any problem with this provision. Does anybody else want to ask any questions or make any comments?
I think it's going to be a pretty good improvement, so I think certainly going to get my favorable consideration.
Is that a motion to approve the demolition?
Yes, it is.
I'll second
Motion, is
that.
there a second by Sandra? Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Westmeyer,
Ed,
Mr. Westmeyer,
Ed, you're muted. There you,
Yes.
Mr. McGarry,
Yes.
Mr. Wolke,
Yes.
Mrs. Early,
Yes,
Titterington,
yes.
Mr. Cappers,
yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
unanimous.
Okay. Next, we have the Historic District application for a painted pianos project. Does staff want to go ahead and play us a tune?
Tim Davis is not here. He normally would be leading that. So we actually didn't discuss
Well,
the
that's fine.
presentation for
You
that.
know, we can, I think Andrea, were you going to present?
Yeah, I have some things I can present on that. No problem.
Go right ahead.
Prepared to do that. So, so as you all, well, first of all, good afternoon. I'm Andrea Keller from Troy Main Street, and we have been working with the city on a program called Painted Pianos. This was this idea was sort of born out of one of our committees, the Troy Partnership, a while ago, and a group of us have kind of taken it and run with it. And we have been preparing this for downtown this summer. We're excited that it will be here kind of in conjunction with the Sculptures on the Square event going on. So we are excited about more public art in our downtown, which is something that is always important as it increases walking traffic, encourages engagement with the community, and encourages visitors. So we reached out to 4 different communities who have done this, and there's actually a website, if you want to visit it, called worldpianos.org, where you can go and see, you can actually like register if you have a public piano placed in your downtown or in your city. So what it is we have 3 different pianos that have been donated, and then we've reached out to 3 different local organizations to see if they'd be willing to paint those pianos, and then we'll set them out in the downtown this summer, and they'll be available for people to play. So they'll be accessible daily, as you can see in your packet, from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And then from 7 p.m. until 11 a.m. they'll be locked and covered. But at this time, what we're seeking from Planning Commission is approval of the enclosed renderings and the locations of those pianos. And again, they would go out on June 11th and then be removed on August 11th. So the first rendering in your packet is from the Troy Hayner Cultural Center, and theirs is made to look like the inside of an airplane. And that was to go along with the Sculptures on the Square theme of taking flight. And the placement for this piano would actually be on the Courthouse Plaza. So we've met with the county commissioners and gotten permission from them. We've shown them this rendering and they've approved that. The next one in your packet is a rendering from the piano that the Mayflower Arts Center is going to paint for us. And that one would be located on the northwest quadrant, kind of in that corner between Agave and Rye and the Mayflower Arts Center. And then the third rendering is from the Lincoln Community Center, and that one would be placed on the corner of like kind of the corner of where the Herons building is on East Main. So that is what we are proposing are those 3 renderings and then those 3 locations, but we wanted to get the approval of Planning Commission for those. And we can ask or answer any questions too, if you have any questions about any of that.
Any questions for Andrea?
I've got just a curiosity. How do you cover and lock these at night?
We have been doing some research. There are some, we're going to order some covers, like some actual piano covers, and then we'll lock them from the little, I don't know what that's called. What's it called?
The grommets.
Yeah.
Oh, like with a cable lock or something like that. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
Andrea, the one that's going to be placed next to the Mayflower, is that on Proudy Plaza or is that going to be in the parking areas?
No, it would be like out on the sidewalk away from the Agave and Rye building. Like on that corner, kind of near that kiosk.
Where the decorative alley,
Yeah.
kind of that corner
Gotcha.
over there.
Gotcha.
Maybe closer to the walkway that kind of splits Proudy Plaza without blocking that walkway.
Right.
Gotcha. Back in the corner.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, great.
I don't have a question, but I have an observation and a comment.
Go right ahead.
I'm a former music teacher. I'm a pianist. I'm a musician. If the purpose is to have an unusual piece of artwork, I think that goal can be met. And I applaud Troy Main Street for the program. A piano has a wooden soundboard, felt hammers, metal strings. Inside a building, it's hard to maintain this instrument. So no matter what you cover it with, if it is going to be sitting outside for one day, let alone 2 months, I don't know how playable it's going to be over time. Now, could people sit down and press on the keys? Probably, but I don't know how much music you're going to be making. So it's a great idea as far as artwork, but as a musician, I just have to say, I think it's kind of a sad way to treat my instrument.
Andrea, do you want to respond?
Yes. We talked to some other communities that do this because we had questions about how they're maintained. And they said they typically have them tuned before they set them out or right when they are set out. And so we have somebody who's planning to tune them before we set them out. And they said, by the end of the summer, they're not going to sound perfect, but to a pianist. But they said if you're not a very musical person, it's not going to sound horrible. And so we did question that. And so that's kind of why we came up with the idea of covering them and locking them each night to maintain them as best as we can.
It's a great idea, but when you move a piano from one room to another, it loses its tuning. So
Pianos will be tuned before they are moved, and once they are placed in downtown, they'll be fine tuned. And we understand that we talked to other pianists in different communities. They started with the humidity and sun. Those pianos will not be in the perfect pitch after a couple of weeks. And then it more attracts people, like it becomes as an art in downtown, but it's also playable first few weeks. And we could fine tune pianos later, but everyone understands that those pianos won't be reusable. And those were donated from people who are going to dispose pianos. So at least we are extending the life of the pianos for another few weeks. That's how I look at it.
Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I understand you're asking for 3 because we've got 3 commitments to paint the pianos. But in other communities, if this is a successful program, we could always look at expanding that program next year. Is that correct, Andrea?
Yeah, that is correct. It is amazing how many people have pianos that they're looking to get rid of. We've been putting them away.
Sorry, Sandra.
For free, yeah.
No. I totally understand, and plenty of pianos go in the garbage.
Yeah.
But it's just a philosophical thing. You're presenting an instrument, as a piece of art, which is great. But I object to people thinking it's playable because as a musician, after a month outside, it's not going to be very playable. But I've made my comment, and that's the end of that.
Thank you. And your comments well taken. Any other questions or comments? Okay, does the commission want to take any action on this application?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
There's motion and support for the motion. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. McGarry,
Yes.
Mr. Wolke,
yes,
Mrs. Early,
No.
Mr. Titterington,
Yes.
Mr. Cappers,
Yes.
Mayor, yes,
Uh,
Mr. Westmeyer.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, the next matter for consideration is the final plat approval and a recommendation to Troy City Council one way or the other for Fox Harbor subdivision, section 8. Does the staff have a report?
Yes, sir. So this is a final plat of Fox Harbor Section 8. Section 8 encompasses a total of 10.8 acres with 20 developable lots on 9.137 acres of land. This development will dedicate 1.6 acres of public right-of-way. This has been reviewed for conformance with the R4 zoning district of which it meets. And staff recommends that Planning Commission provide a positive recommendation to City Council to accept the proposed final plat as it is in general accordance with the approved preliminary plan, with the condition that escrow agreements are provided and accepted prior to going before City Council.
Any questions of staff? I have one. The stormwater detention area is a really nice size. What's that going to look like after the fact? Is it going to be, how much of a basin is it going to have? I don't know if you're familiar with the one out in Carriage Crossing. Is it going to be water filled, or what's it going to look like?
So this is a detention, so it will be dry, to my understanding. Can you provide some more information?
Yeah, so this is Robert as well. So the detention pond it currently is dry now. It's mowed and maintained, and the plans are to keep it that way, remaining as a mowed and dry detention basin.
And who's going to mow and maintain the detention basin?
That will remain under the developer unless he forms a HOA.
Okay. How do we make sure the developer keeps maintaining the property?
But just under general code ordinances for tall grass and weeds, we make sure that's maintained. Plus, on top of the stormwater regulations,
Okay.
the detention basin still has to be maintained and is also inspected every few years.
And even though we have fees in lieu for park property, this will also permit some more green space within the subdivision, which is very nice. Okay, thank you. Any other questions of staff?
since it's detention, will it be treated to keep fish from living in it?
It'll be dry, Larry. It won't be a retention pond. It'll be a dry detention area.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought it was detention.
Any other questions or comments? We're asked to send this to City Council with some sort of recommendation. What's the commission want to do?
I'll make a motion that we recommend approval to council.
For second.
I'm sorry, who said that? Mayor Oda, second it. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Mr. Wolke,
Yes,
Mrs. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Titterington,
Yes.
Mr. Cappers,
Yes.
Mayor. Yes. Mr. Westmeyer,
Yes.
Mr. McGarry,
Yes,
unanimous.
Does staff have anything else to come before the commission today?
That's a no.
No.
Okay, Commission members want to discuss anything further? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Is there- All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you.